So in my agency, we use Slack for basically all of the communication that happens outside of specific projects or tasks. We try to keep 90% of our conversation in ClickUp, which is our project management tool. However, having a way to talk with your team in between projects or tasks, or just in a very quick, fast manner is useful. And we use Slack for that. Now, Slack is a good thing and it's a bad thing because it could cause you to lose track of your projects. It can cause you to lose track of many of the different things that you're doing in your agency. And if you're on the free version of Slack, your messages even disappear after a certain time. So using Slack is a good tool if you use it correctly. But anyway, I'm going to break down how my agency uses Slack for productivity, for convenience, and for efficiency. So let me just break down a few of the sections that we have in Slack. First off, we have an announcements channel. So in the announcements channel, that's where only specific people can send messages, such as me or management and the team, because that is where we can put out information. It's just a one-sided channel where we can send out announcements about the company or upcoming company events or whatever. So I think that's important. Next, we have workspace. So in our workspace, as for general work chat. So if you're ever unsure where to put your question or your comment or whatever you're tagging, it's good to have a place that just kind of acts as the default, and that's the workspace channel. I think that is essential. Then we have water cooler, which is non-work related. So don't get in the habit of living in the water cooler, sharing GIFs and memes and things like that. But it is good to have a place where your team can post or send messages to each other about things outside of work. Okay, so from there we have the different teams. So on larger projects, we do create a channel for that project. But for the most part, especially for our recurring MRR services like SEO, it's good to have a channel that's more specific to that service or that team rather than having thousands of project channels. So we have our ads team, content, client success, dev, SEO, video. So these teams, anything that relates to those types of projects that maybe doesn't necessarily go into ClickUp will come into here. And this is also where we can discuss operations related information. For example, if it's not related to a task for our client, but instead it relates to the process or getting a quick overview, like status update, or just letting the video team know that we have a new client coming in. These channels make it very easy to do that. And we do have project channels. Here you can see we have projects. So let me just back up real quick. So all our team channels start with team as the prefix. This makes organization really easy. All our projects start with PRJ. So, and then in the CLB, it's a 3-letter acronym that we use for all clients based on their company name. So every client has an account ID, and that's what this is. So we have PRJ, CLB. So this is for the project for the CLB client. That's what that means. But in here, kind of like the teams, it's general information. We're not going in there creating tasks or assigning projects to people. We're not letting the client in there, anything like that. All of that happens inside of ClickUp. But again, this is just when you have a question or comment, or you need to tag someone in the project and there's not a specific task for it, or you're not sure, this is where it goes, and it makes communication very efficient. Next, we have these two. We have daily updates. We have site care, which is our website maintenance service. And these start with CU. So anything that's related to ClickUp, or such as notifications, they come in here. So when daily update forms are filled out, when site care request forms are filled out, those notifications are coming into Slack. And that is essentially all this channel is for. It's just so we can get the notification. So every ClickUp notification we have starts with a CU. Come back down here to wins. I think it's important to share wins, not only internally sharing your team's wins, but also sharing your client wins. This is just a channel of celebration, essentially. And it's always fun to look back in there when you're feeling down, feeling blue, and see that you're actually making a difference in the lives of so many people. And then up here at the top, we just have, there's more team channels right here, project management, operations, those are super important. And then, direct messages down at the bottom. Then I have our project manager, her DM. So some of the things that have helped me with productivity inside of Slack can be found in this actions tab. So you probably have experienced this. Someone mentions something to you in the evening, you get the notification on your phone, you read it, and then you never think about it again. It's because once you look at something, it doesn't show up as bold over here in the menu anymore. So a couple of things that I've used to make this easier on myself is in this menu bar. So first off, you can mark things as unread, which is huge. So mark it as unread. leave, come back. Now you can go back and see that there is something there waiting for you. Also, Slack has this unread section at the top, so you can click into that and view your unread. So that's very helpful. Additionally, you can remind yourself later. So remind me about this in 20 minutes, 3 hours, tomorrow, etc. And you can customize these as well. So if I get a notification that I cannot take action on right now, but I don't want to forget, I'll set a quick reminder, and then I'll just move on with my day. And what'll happen is once this 20 minutes, 3 hours or whatever, once that triggers, it's just going to show up here, and I think it'll show up under unreads, or maybe a new section pops up. I can't remember exactly, but it does remind you, so you can go back and you can take action on that thing. That's very helpful. You can also come in here and save. It's actually right here, a little bookmark, save for later. So whether that's something you want to reference later, or if you want to use this method to remind yourself and just go through your save for later every single day, that's a really effective way of remembering and not forgetting, not losing messages in Slack as well. So something else cool in Slack is integrations, obviously. So one of my favorite ones is Hangouts. It's not shown here. So Hangouts is what Google Meet used to be called. And we use Google Meet internally with clients all the time, just because it's way more convenient than Zoom, especially for our clients, because they can just click a link, open it up, and it's in the browser, and it's too easy. But one of the cool things you can do with that is if you wanted to start an instant meeting, you could just do so like this. Just type in Hangouts. Once I click send, it'll post a link. Once I click on this link, it's going to open the window in my browser, and then in the browser, it's going to give me an option to click to post it back to the channel. So I click here, the browser opens, I click a button in the browser, it sends the link back to the channel, and then anyone who I'm trying to get on a meeting with can just click that link. It opens up and we're in a meeting. Super convenient. I prefer that much more than Slack's internal meeting tool. So you can start a huddle. I think it's what it's called. You can start a huddle inside of Slack, but in my experience, it's very poor quality. The audio cuts out often, the video doesn't work, and you can't record it. So if you want to record meetings, it's best to just go to Google Meet or Zoom or whatever. That way you have the meeting for reference. So another thing that we like to use are bookmarks. I guess that's what you call them. You put them at the top. So if you want to save a meeting link, or if you want to have a link to a certain form, let's say daily update form, anything like that, you can put these at the top. So you just, bookmark. So you just add a bookmark. You can add any link up there. It makes it very easy to click, review, do what you got to do. And it's right there inside of Slack. So I really love that feature. In some of the channels, we actually just create a meeting link that just stays open. We'll put it up there at the top, so that way we don't even have to use the Hangout. We don't have to use the Hangouts prompt in order to start the meeting. We just know that, hey, if we're talking in that channel, click the link, it opens it up, and we're good to go. All right, guys, hopefully that was helpful. We use Slack, we love it. So hopefully some of these tips that I showed in this video will help you love it as well. As always, if you find this helpful, share it, subscribe, do all those things. I'm trying to grow this YouTube channel, brand new to it, and I would appreciate the support. I'm going to continue to just document what I've done in my agencies for the past 15 years, trying to give you the 80-20 of what actually works. I always appreciate feedback, comments, all of those things. Looking forward to making more videos.